All right, man. It feels good to be back. It's been several months since I did a podcast, and the Brighter Side Podcast season one is officially over, and this is episode number two, or this is season two, episode one, excuse me. And in today's, kind of video, I just kind of want to go over what I learned from season one and where I'm taking the podcast in season two. And so if you've been along for this journey or this ride, hopefully you'll stick with us. But, I want to kind of share what I learned about podcasting in general for any of you guys out there that maybe are interested in starting a podcast or kind of wonder what goes on behind the scenes. And also you can kind of live through me a little bit on kind of where I feel like I went wrong and then where it's kind of going and kind of my passion and where I really want to kind of hyper focus and kind of take this niche that I'm in and kind of find my tribe, if you will. So um, I wanted to start off by just kind of saying like it was very experimental year one, season one. I started in July, I got this new office, new warehouse space, and I didn't really know how I was gonna use it. And I know that I was doing a lot of networking and trying to grow my business, my outdoor lighting business, Paradise Lights. And for anybody that's new, we do Christmas lights, landscape lighting, pool cage lighting, and we get really slow in the summer. So I'm always trying to figure out like how to grow, how to keep busy, how to do that. And so I was trying to find ways to connect with other local professionals that could maybe kind of fill that void, fill that gap. And that was my initial reason for doing it. And it really kind of like very quickly kind of took more of like a ministry style where it wasn't really necessarily we were talking about Jesus or God or my faith. But if I had people on that I knew had the same belief system, I definitely would talk to them about that. And I really like that about it. That's definitely not something that I'm going to change. But it really, it really towards the end, I feel like if I'm being honest, it started to take kind of like when I was looking for new guests and stuff like that, I was looking for more people with like bigger audiences as opposed to just having authentic conversations with people that I genuinely wanted to talk to. And that's just me being honest. I thought that might help me grow. Of course, like, yeah, you want to be asked to be on other people's podcasts and you want to share, my story and, kind of my passion. Because there's definitely people that are out there that I'm for, and there's definitely people out there that I'm not. There's some people that I'm going to annoy the crap out of, and then there's going to be some people who are like, this dude is like, you know, got what I want, or I understand him, I think like him. And that's really all I'm trying to do. I'm never trying to be preachy. I'm never trying to be the guru. From a small business standpoint, I might be a few steps ahead of some of you. And then there's definitely a lot of people that I'm way behind. And then there's some people that are just a few steps ahead of me. And, we can all kind of learn and grow and mold and help each other in different avenues. And so that's really all I want to do, even when it comes to my faith. I don't want to be preachy. I don't want to do anything other than like, talk about what Jesus has done in my life, how it's helped me, how it's changed me, and, try to share that with people. But I'm not someone that's going to want to get on here and debate and argue and do a bunch of apologetics or anything like that. That's just not me. That's not my strength. And so I really felt like in season one, that's where it went wrong. And that's something that like, as I was like taking a break during the holiday season, because I was so busy, that's one thing that I was able to kind of reflect on and be like, man, I really miss podcasting and I miss having people in and I miss having those conversations and, that interaction. But I definitely want to make sure that I'm doing it for the right reasons. And I only did one solo episode last year and I really enjoy that. I really enjoy just kind of sharing me because I feel like as a podcast, when I think about the people that I follow and the podcasts that I listen to, I don't necessarily go on there for the guests. I go on there for the hosts, the people that I'm like, oh yeah, I like, these people and whoever they have on, I'll probably be somewhat interested in because I kind of align with the host. And so, that's kind of where I'm like, hey, either you're going to love me, hate me, or you're not sure, but you're like, hey, I'm going to give him a shot. I appreciate any of that. So that's kind of where I kind of want to shift into like kind of where I want to take it. One thing, I guess if I had like a word for the year, some people do like a word that they use for the entire season or year or whatever. For me, I think what screams at me is consistency. Last year, I had several guests on that were all walks of life, different things. Jeff Delaney was one that really, really helped me get back in shape. Jeff Delaney owns T Clinics, New Viva Weight Loss Center. And I only needed to lose, 10, 15 pounds. I started at like 200 and he helped me get down to, I actually got down to like 179. I would say 5 or 6 of those pounds were stress related and probably starvation mode during the Christmas light season, because I mean, you wouldn't really know it unless you're in the Christmas light business, but it's very, very stressful. It's so stressful. And it was just hard. It was a good season, profitable, but man, I learned a lot of hard lessons that I will talk about probably here in the near future that I'm trying to fix, because I just want to share my experience and, help others. And so that was something that was big that, I learned. I got there, but like I didn't stay consistent. And I'm doing okay, but my business didn't stay consistent all the time. My faith stayed consistent, but like staying in the word, reading the Bible, going to church wasn't consistent. And so this year it's like, okay, I did a lot of things really well, but now how do I stick with it all the time, and or more often than not, or get better than I was last year? And so that's kind of like my word that just kind of keeps coming back at me, is consistency. Even with the podcast, I mean, I pretty much was like rocking and rolling and then it just stopped, And so I need to be more consistent. My social media, all that stuff, like I never stay consistent. And I know that's easier said than done, but it's something that I'm working on. And so that's kind of where I wanted to take season 2, is being more purposeful. So I'm hoping format wise that, you're going to get a couple of me solo, 15 to 20 minutes, and maybe even a remote, because there's a lot of people that I want to talk to that I could get on the show, but they don't live in Naples and I can't afford to fly them in yet or anything like that. So doing some remote podcasts will also be cool. And then I'm probably going to do some in-house, in-person guests as well. And so it'll be a little bit different, but hopefully you'll enjoy that. I know that I will, because I'll be able to control a little bit more of when I put stuff out, content out when I have time. And so that's kind of where I want to go. If you see me looking down, it's because I actually wrote some notes down, because I wanted to be more, less off the cuff and more purposeful and to the point. And so what I learned, I guess, being away from it for a while, was kind of what my passions were going to be, and where I really kind of wanted to narrow this down just a little bit. And so one thing that was really neat that happened to me was in January, my son, who's in high school, he had some friends. They have like an internship program through their school. And 4 of them, they all came in and they did an internship with us for a week. And I really, really enjoyed just working with these young guys. Are they all going to be Christmas light installers? Maybe not. But could they be small business owners? Absolutely. And so I really just wanted to give them a real life like look at like what it's like. And I really threw them in there and made them get to work and had them go with the guys. And I worked them hard, and I was honest with them, and shared some behind the scenes stuff, some of my frustrations, some of the things that are hard about being a business owner. And for those of you guys that are in business, you kind of know sometimes it's the stuff you don't see that's really stressful. And then for those of you guys aspiring, like, this is be a good podcast for you, because I'm going to share what it's actually really like. No fluff, no just all the good stuff on Instagram. All the posts are me winning and not losing, because I lose a lot too. And so I just want to be giving people a realistic look at small business. But I realized that I enjoyed working with those guys. I do enjoy sharing my faith. I do enjoy talking about God and my faith. And I also love talking about business. And so I always mix in my fitness in there. I used to own a gym, so that's always kind of going to be a part of me, I think. But I'm by no means the six-pack guy. I struggle to like want to not eat bad stuff, just like everyone else, and trying to incorporate fitness into my busy life and being a dad and a husband and a business owner and all that stuff. So, hopefully if that relates with you, cool. And so that's what I want to talk a lot about going into season 2 is, the trades, especially. Like I'm obviously, I grew up, my dad was a carpenter. I just kind of grew up around construction, and I went the college route trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I wanted to do all this stuff. And I just kind of learned through going to college that like, I didn't like really want to do any of that stuff. And I never really enjoyed school. I kind of just went to college because I thought that was the next step. And so that's what I did. And, you know, that was not really probably the right route for me. Or if I could go back and do it over again, it's hard to say, because, it's just hard to say. I don't know. I'd have to really think about that if I would say that was a bad idea. But I think there's a lot of people, a lot of kids, especially in high school, boys and girls, that need to be exposed more to trades in what's out there. I mean, I make a pretty good living putting up Christmas lights. A lot of people wouldn't even know that that was a thing, but it is. And so, electricians, plumbers, service, anything in the service world, there's so many people, roofing. I mean, they make great livings. I mean, I know some of the most successful people I know are in the trades. And I just think that a lot of kids need to be exposed to that as well, just as much as they are as just going to college. And so I'm not against college. I just think that a lot of people go for the wrong reasons. And so I'm really passionate about just small business and being your own boss and giving people encouragement to do that on their own. And like I said earlier, just trying to give you like a real life look at like what it's like, whether you're already in small business and you're lonely, because it is a lonely place that like maybe I can be a little bit of peace for you. Like, man, I'm not the only one struggling, or I'm not the only one struggling with that, or, oh, that works for him. Maybe I'll try, so that's all I'm trying to do is just share what works and what doesn't work and be completely transparent with that. And so, always want to incorporate my faith in there, but again, never want to like push that on anybody. I don't want to debate it. I'm just going to share what I like about it, what it does for me, how it's helped me. And so I'll continue to do that. Those are kind of like, I want to kind of narrow that back down, like I said, into more of my passions. And, I guess a good way of saying it is that like I want to walk alongside you. I don't want to be like the guru. I don't want to be like the expert. I just want to help people, us all move forward, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's kind of my new passion. That's kind of where I'm really, really wanting to like hone in on that. And so if that sounds like something that you're interested in, or if you stayed along this long, then you're probably rocking with it. So that's cool. And I wrote down some things that I want to learn, I guess things that I kind of learned maybe the hard way. And that's just being disciplined in all the areas. That's where I lost last year. Some I would say is like just being consistent and being disciplined in my fitness. I was kicking butt, and then I pretty much didn't work out for 2 months. I was eating really good. I don't know. I kind of did that. Some good, some bad. I didn't gain all the way back, so I obviously learned some stuff. But Jeff's probably gonna like smack me next time he sees me, but no, I learned a lot through that, and I'm still implementing a lot of it. But and just my faith, like when I wasn't going to church every Sunday and I was working, wasn't really spending a lot of time in my Bible, man, I could just slowly start to feel myself. I was angrier, I was mad, I was bringing that home, and my family suffered some of that, and so my wife took the brunt of that, just trying to be there for me, but was just coming home and just kind of unloading, which that's part of being married, but every single day, just it wasn't. It just is. It wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't what I wanted for my wife. It wasn't what I wanted as a husband, and my kids too. I mean, I'm like literally not there from October to middle of December. It's almost like I'm living in town, but I'm there from before they go to school a little bit, and then I'm getting home at like 9 o'clock. And so just being disciplined in other areas of my business and being prepared, because a lot of the issues that I had in my business I learned this year were my own fault. It's one thing if something happens and you can't help it, but like something breaks or whatever. But a lot of my issue was my scheduling and not working on it in the summer. And it really caught up with me, and it caused me a lot of stress. And so want to fix that. And just now that I've kind of lost the weight and kind of kept it off, now I kind of want to take it to another level. And that just is discipline, diet, nutrition. And so far, so good this year. I'm off and kind of running. I had an injury kind of right when I got back into the gym. I kind of hurt my trap, but it's good. I'm going to the chiropractor now, and I'm getting adjustments, and he's like opening it all back up and getting my posture fixed. And so I'm excited about it. I'm really enjoying the last 2 kind of weeks of being really consistent. And so just kind of got to tweak my diet, and then just also share my faith. I'm hoping to start a men's Bible study with my employees this year. So I'll let you know how that goes. And also with some young guys, the same kids that did the internship. I'm going to try and get together one night a week and just kind of talk life. And so I'm really excited about that, especially since it's my son, and kind of want to be able to be a spiritual leader for him, because, as he's getting older, yes, I'm his dad, but I'm becoming more of a friend, mentor than I am so much, his boss or whatever. And so I just kind of want to have that relationship with my son if he wants it. And so I'm excited about that. So I'll kind of keep you posted on like how that's going. But yeah, that's it, man. Just sharing business tactics and ideas and what's working and thoughts. And so that's kind of what season 2 is gonna be. And so I hope you guys are excited about that. If you have any like topics or questions or things you guys want us to talk about, then shoot them over. I've been working a lot on like TikTok and Instagram, trying different things, trying new marketing, and really just trying to learn how to do some of this stuff myself because I'm paying a lot of money for other people to do it. And I don't want to say that it wasn't working, but I wonder how much of it was really them versus like how much can I do on my own and control it. And I enjoy being on camera. I enjoy social media. I enjoy creating and making videos. I've always kind of been into that. Not everyone is. It's really easy for me to flip the camera around and just kind of go, which is taking me time to get comfortable doing that. But it's something I think that will help you be more confident as a business owner. And you got just definitely putting yourself out there. You're also opening yourself up to criticism. So you got to kind of have thick skin. But if you're a business owner, you probably already have thick skin, or this is going to help you develop it better. So anyways, if you're enjoying this or if this sounds good, give us a follow, give us a subscribe, and you can find us on social media. And that's it. Season 2, episode 1, that's a wrap, baby. And yeah, we'll look forward to the next episode. I'm going to go into some of this stuff in more depth. I'm going to go over some of my goals for 2026 more in depth. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching. And if you've hung around this long through season 1, I hope season 2 sounds as exciting to you as it is to me. And we'll see you guys on the next one.